After being very dramatic about how Silent Hill Mobile 3 would be the last Silent Hill mobile game ever and blah blah blah, we are here at Silent Hill The Escape. And I'm sure there's no escaping from that one, haha. Sorry. No, but I wasn't lying before. Silent Hill Mobile 3 was the last one of the Silent Hill Mobile trilogy, and although Silent Hill The Escape is a mobile game, it is not part of that. Instead, it's something completely different and actually came out before. Apart from that, it's also a first-person shooter plus dungeon crawler thing and not a point-and-click adventure. And also in 3D. So yeah, I guess you can see why it doesn't have anything to do with the other games I covered so far. It released between 2007 to 2010, depending on the device and region, and it was actually developed by Konami this time instead of some random third-party company no one has ever heard of. Sorry, Game Federation Studio, but it is what it is. But there's also a positive. The music was composed by the one and only Akira Yamaoka, who did the music for masterpieces like Silent Hill Revelation 3D, and also some trash like the first few Silent Hill games and some other stuff. According to Wikipedia, where I got all this info from, the director was Tatsuma Minami, and I've never heard of the guy, and he doesn't have his own Wikipedia page, so I wanted to Google him, and yeah. Let's say there's someone in a slightly different industry that is even more body focused with the same name. Yeah, probably a coincidence, but I don't know how trustworthy this Wikipedia page is anymore. Anyway, let's get to the game itself right after our sponsor. Wait, I don't have a sponsor, so just the intro. First off, I think it's very important to mention that I play and show the Fan Remake for PC here that was developed by Apple Street Games, two-party people that are based in Minnesota. I actually wanted to play the original release first, so that I know the differences and can criticize the actual game, but well, I tried it on my phone, but that looked like this. I also tried it on two different emulators, but those looked like that. So playing it on my phone was borderline unplayable and I didn't have a way to properly record it, and playing it through emulation was just completely unplayable. So I didn't really have a choice. But although the remake looks actually a bit worse, here's a quick comparison. It's functionally the same, apart from that it's actually functioning. Apart from that, the UI is very similar as well, with the same ugly minimap, the same ugly HUD that panics when an enemy is remotely close, and pretty much the exact same remaining ammo display. The gameplay and levels are also the same, apart from the slightly worse visuals. I believe the unlockables are the same as well, just like the story. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's pretty damn close, and I will just act like it's the original game for most of the video, except for when I don't. Now onto the heartbreaking story that is barely existing. But I can't really blame them for that, because it's just a mobile game that is meant to be played when you want to pass some time, and Candy Crush doesn't have a deep story either, so why should this? Damn double standards. No, but to be serious, we start as a human and we wake up in the Brookhaven hospital from the games, and we obviously have no idea why we are here. But we won't find out either, so f that. Through the game, our only proper goal is to find out, and we actually achieve that. Wow. Just to find some freaking aliens. And we are actually in Silent Hill, the actual town. Wow! Apart from that, my game didn't really have any dialogue here or anything at all, apart from those two, but there's a bit more in the original release. Basically, they capture us, we don't remember but they help us leave the town, so everything is fine in the end. After that, we can play as the aliens, because they want to investigate the strange things that are happening in Silent Hill. Well, the last time something like that happened, Resident Evil started. Anyway, at the end they find Shiba Inu the dog from the Silent Hill 2 dog ending, and then we can play as her. Yay! As Shiba Inu we have to go through the whole game again for the third time, just to find Robbie the rabbit at the end. Yeah, the story basically ends after the human ending and everything else is just extra, and even the human part is really unremarkable, generic and just there to have anything at all. But like I said, it's just a mobile game to pass time, so it is what it is. You know what's also it is what it is? That a lot of you haven't subscribed to my channel, even though you watch my videos. So if you enjoy this video and want to change that, please subscribe to support me. Thanks a lot. So yeah, coming to the gameplay. Like I said, it's a first-person shooter mixed with a dungeon crawler, and like I also said, we have to get out. There are 10 levels that consist of 5 different locations, plus an other world per location. The original release also features a tutorial level, but that isn't in the remake. At the beginning of every level you come out of an elevator that you entered at the end of the previous stage, kinda obvious, apart from the first level. There you just spawn at the beginning, but that doesn't change anything about that we just start every level in the beginning and end it at the elevator in the end. That was also kinda obvious. Anyway, to open the elevator we have to find a key that is placed somewhere in the level. That is built like a maze and it's actually not that easy to traverse. Everything looks kinda the same and there are also a lot of crossings and dead ends. Luckily they aren't too big and there's a minimap, so every level should be doable even if it may take some time. I also want to mention that the levels reminded me a lot of the PS1 horror game Hell Night, so if you played that you should get an idea of how the levels are built. The part to the elevator is easier though, because it's marked with a green arrow on the minimap, so really not a challenge. The actual challenge are the enemies. In the beginning they are pretty damn slow and one shot in the head one-shots them, but while progressing through the game, the number of enemies increase and different stronger variants appear. Obviously the size of the levels increase as well to somehow fit all those enemies into there, therefore the game actually has a pretty nice difficulty curve as it just gets harder and harder without any weird spikes. The game will warn you when enemy is near with the serious typical radio static and this weird heart that pumps like there's no tomorrow. Also you're dead with a single hit no matter the enemy, so you have to be careful to properly aim, otherwise it might look very bad for you. But what do we even aim with? A pretty generic pistol, at least as a human. The aliens got a nice laser gun with infinite ammo, so nice job at having at least a bit of variety. There's also a pipe, but I was never even close to using that. The game isn't super rich on ammo, but there's still plenty scattered around the levels and there's actually a really cool minigame when reloading, because you have to make sure that every hole assigns, otherwise you don't get the full reload. That's what she said. So there's actually a strategic aspect, because you have to be careful to reload when there are no enemies around. The game will also give you a rating at the end of every level that depends on how fast you cleared the stage and how many enemies you killed. Of course, I got only the best rating. But that really is everything about the gameplay. It's pretty much the exact same for the whole game and unsurprisingly simple. But like I said, it's just a mobile game and Candy Crush is also the same for a million levels. The worst part are probably the controls. The controls of the PC remake are fine enough. I mean, it's not super smooth and you may need a few minutes to get used to it, but after that you won't think about it anymore. The controls of the original mobile release are worse. Obviously I couldn't really play it, but they rely heavily on moving and tilting the phone, which is already annoying when you are just playing the game alone at home, but must be horrible when you are actually outside on a bus or train. So just don't expect anything special or modern, especially when you play the original release, or you will be disappointed. Woohoo, the presentation! And that may actually be the best part of the game. Like I said, the visuals of the remake are worse, but you can still see where you are going and it's similar to the original, just a bit less detailed. But the game looks pretty damn decent for the time and especially for a mobile game. In opposite to the Silent Hill mobile trilogy, it's fully in 3D, there's some pretty cool animations when killing an enemy or dying, and there's an impressive amount of detail in the original environments and enemy models. To be honest, I was pretty disappointed that I couldn't play the original release for myself, because I really wanted to see the graphics. But yeah, the remake does a decent job as well and they actually want to improve the graphics further. There are also some cool blood effects and splatters when shooting an enemy, especially when you're closer. The sound is also pretty alright, although slightly different in the remake compared to the original. My biggest issue was that the background music will just stop playing after a few minutes, which was kinda relaxing, but also counterproductive for a horror game. But overall the presentation was actually pretty good and, like I said, probably the best part of the game. So what do I think of the game? It's alright. It would be kind of bad if it was a proper video game, but the concept is actually perfect for mobile. Unfortunately the execution is the opposite and stops it from being good. Overall, you don't really miss anything if you don't play it, but you also don't really lose anything by trying it, so if it looked fun to you, check out the link in the description, that will lead you to the remake. But what do you think of the game? Please tell me in the comments. Also consider to subscribe, comment and share if you enjoyed this video. Thank you and see you next time.